Whisper ASMR. Hello. I wanted to make a soft-spoken video today, and I do have my trusty iPad here. I was thinking that I'd maybe do some sketching while I chat away, but I'm not sure if I will. It's just as a precaution for me to have something to do with my hands while I talk. Anyways, I was thinking that I'd make a series of videos. Well, not necessarily a series, but maybe a couple of videos where I talk about the different games that I play, and I'd dedicate a video for a single game. And I'd like to start with Genshin Impact. What my experience has been with it, and what I like about it. What has kept me in the game for years now. Anyways, I'm trying a new camera angle. You're up there, and this looks almost like a streaming setup from your point of view. From my point of view, I have the basic setup with a computer, and so that I can have the camera higher up, I have a stool standing on the table, partially over the computer screen, and the camera's attached to the stool with a small light. So creativity in this setup knows no bounds. It knows no bounds. But yeah, I hope you guys are doing well. I know my videos are coming at a very irregular pace, but I hope you're fine with it, because this suits me better. I also have some tea with me. It's green tea with lemon from Lidl. It smells amazing. It's like a lemon candy. But it isn't sweet, because I don't add any sweetness to it. Yeah, I think that's a setup sets us up for this video. Yeah, I started playing Genshin, I believe it was the day it was released on PlayStation, PS4. Oh, I had PS4 back then. And now I do have a PS5, and it says that I've been playing Genshin on it for a bit over 1,200 hours. So, a lot. An awful lot. I'm not sure if I've ever played any game that much, but I enjoy it. It scratches an itch in me that I've enjoyed for years now. Well, it was released on, what was it, like 2020? I believe it was 2020, yeah. back in the COVID days. And I can say I'm an OG player, and there aren't many days that I've missed a login. I can probably count them with my two hands. Over the years, I play daily. Sometimes it takes just a couple of minutes, and sometimes it takes a lot more, especially with this. The updates that they have nowadays, the story quests are very long. They're very, very long. The previous one, I think it took me like 5-6 hours to complete the main story quest. But I enjoy them. It is, for some reason, Genshin story has had me in tears a couple of times back in Sumeru days, with the quest line with the Dendro Archon and disappearing from life. It was very touching for me. Although I might have been a bit emotional back then, and that's why it was a tearjerker. But anyways, I think it speaks volumes how well the story is delivered. Not necessarily written, but I think that even bad stories, well, not bad stories per se, but stories that are not that complex or intricate or cohesive, can be delivered so well that they affect us emotionally. And I believe that at least is something that Genshin has done really well. But yeah, my story with Genshin started in Mondstadt, as everyone's story starts in Mondstadt with Genshin. And when you play that sort of game that has regular updates every 6 weeks or so, yeah, every 6 weeks, and they bring some major updates yearly and add new areas, you get a different kind of pacing. You get the anticipation for next areas. You actually roam and delve and experience all the areas that are there in a different phase, a different pace. And then if I would start playing Genshin today and just get 6 years worth of content, and it would just be maybe a bit overwhelming, I think, because there's just so much to do, so many different characters, many of them who are completely irrelevant nowadays. but yeah. Sorry, my restless leg keeps going. Yeah, so I feel like the reason that I've stuck around for so long is because I enjoy it, and partially because I have spent so many hours on the game. Yeah. And as I was saying, the story began in Mondstadt, and I really liked the setup, all the atmosphere of Mondstadt. It's like these German, Swiss houses, old German, Swiss houses, and my neighbour is leaving home, and it's focused on the daily life of the Knights of Favonius and the people of Mondstadt, the hunters and the alchemists and the librarian Lisa and the bar or winery run by D-Luke. Animal and Barbados, Venti. Yeah, it was captivating. Just this is what you get when English is not your first language. But yeah, back then when we started in 1.0, we only had Mondstadt and Liyue. We didn't have Dragonspine in the middle. The Mountain of Dragonspine was added in like 1.3 or something, if I remember correctly. And back then we got Albedo to the story, and the lore of During the Dragon began. I believe that if you start Genshin Impact today, the story develops in similar order. Maybe. I'm not sure if you can skip parts of the story. Maybe you can, maybe you can't, but Dragonspine's lore, or the general lore of Teyvat in Genshin, is cool. I like how it goes deep into the history, and it brings the distant past to the present day. How gods that have gone still deliver messages. Somehow the lore is still intact. And now the latest one, where they, from Not Cry, the moon goddess thing, and now they added the Liyue and Teyvat's fake moon, and the Zibai of White Horse Adeptus, who was stuck and looked away on the fake moon. Spoilers. Sorry. Terribly sorry for story spoilers. But I enjoy following the base storyline of Genshin, the world of Genshin, and how the characters interact. Yeah, there are some characters that I don't particularly enjoy, who feel maybe a bit just annoying to me, but that is just a personal preference, and we all have those. And it's fine, it's fine. We're allowed to have those preferences. After the Mondstadt, Liyue and Dragonspine, we're done with our steps led us to Inazuma, which is a Japanese-inspired culture, a setup for the land, the culture. Maybe it's inspired by ancient Japanese culture. A country or a land that is ruled by the lightning archon tyrant Raiden Shogun, or they were twins, I believe, or somehow split their divinity. Anyways, the Inazuma region is it consists of different islands, and adventuring is very different compared to Mondstadt and Liyue and Dragonspine. Dragonspine introduced that freezing mechanic, which I think is just annoying way to control the player, that you have to use fire to keep yourself warm. It doesn't, at least for me, it doesn't give any immersion to the game, or a feeling that I have to endure the cold. It just feels like that I can't do what I want. I can't explore freely, search for chests, treasure and lore. That's what I want to do in those games. That's why I love Genshin. I love open world games. I've said that in the previous video. Just exploration part is my jam. My jam is my jam. But yeah, I think Dragonspine is not, in that regard, well designed. Why can't, at least after the main story, give me a way to counteract the cold permanently? Why not? Because I've already done with the story. Some warm clothing or heat resistance, whatever. But yeah, Inazuma also has some elemental restrictions. They have the lightning infusion here and there, where you just can't stay still, and you have to beware of the environment and the lightning strikes, and those, I'm not a fan of those, but it suits the lore of the region. What are my neighbours doing? My upstairs neighbour it was the day before yesterday. They were vacuuming their apartment and walking on high heels, or well, not necessarily high heels, but some sort of shoes. A bit over 10 in the evening, 10 o'clock in the evening, I believe that are apartment buildings. Contract says that silence should start at 10. So, oh, maybe I don't know if she messed up the apartment before that. They started vacuuming, but I digress. The Inazuma region, and it was in Inazuma where we had the side world of Enkonomia. Yeah, I believe it was. Enkonomia was this land of the past that had some sort of spirits roaming it here and there. Yeah. And after we were done with Inazuma and Enkonomia, we went to the Chasm, which was a giant hole next to Liyue and Sumeru, between those. And the chasm also has deep dungeons, some sort of ancient constructs that no, I think the technology dates back to Kynria and the Dragon Lords. Kynria was civilization that predates the modern era of Teyvat. It's ancient history now. Only some constructs and ruins remain. But the chasm was... Ooh, I just realized. We only used to have 6 elements in the game. The Pyro, Anemo, Hydro, Geo. Come on, come on. Remember the names. Pyro, Hydro, Fire and Water. Anemo, which is the wind. Cryo, which is ice. Geo, which is earth. And Electro. Yes, electro elements. Only those. We didn't have Dendro, the wood element, or the nature. We only got that when the Sumeru update came, which was like, was it 4.0? No, not 4.0, because when I was 6. Let's go. 1.0. Yes, though 1.x patches were Mondstadt and Liyue and Dragonspine. 2.x Inazuma and Enkonomia and Chasm. 3.x Sumeru. The Sumeru region, which is this giant rainforest and desert region. Mix and match. It's divided into 2 sections, and it is governed by academics, or this academia. And the Dendro Archon has been gone for quite some time. Anyway, the Sumeru patch was adorable. They have these Aranara, which are these forest creatures, and and the law in the deserts. Everything is just that there's the pyramids and such. It's ripe with Genshin altogether is very stereotypical in cultural references, but I think it's fine because it's supposed to deliver a concept of the world, which is very much inspired by the real world. My skin is so dry on my hands, on my fingers, because it's freezing cold. Winter in Finland, it's, or at least where I live in Tampere, there's minus 25 degrees Celsius. So I haven't left the building in a couple of days. Thank God I have some food. Tomorrow I have to leave the building. I have an appointment, and I think I'm going to add the shopping visit to my route, so I don't have to make 2 trips. Very convenient. Anyways, after the Sumeru 3.x patch, we went to Fontaine, which is the land of the Hydro Archon, who basically is no more, but there is a Hydro Dragon who we know as Neuvillette. Neuvillette. Monsieur Neuvillette. And Fontaine is very heavily inspired by France, and they're doing this a bit steampunk or something like that inspired theme. I really liked Fontaine, and Fontaine we have this ability where we can, sorry, I just grabbed on the cord that attached to the phone. But Fontaine, we have the ability to dive underwater and breathe underwater. And here we go. We can make exceptions to exploration in certain regions. It would have been amazing to have the underwater exploration everywhere. But no, it's just the region of Fontaine because the water is special in there. But yeah, it did have a deep story lore-wise, but Fontaine's delivery of the story was a bit trippy here and there. I like the part where we went to the underwater prison, and we had the prison arc where we had to pretend that we're criminals. It was fun. But the storybook diving, or you get sucked into a storybook and find some sort of old characters and narcissism. I'm definitely pronouncing that wrong. It's just, that is delivered so badly. I don't like those parts of the story at all. Or I'm not sure if I'm the only one, but I don't enjoy how the Grand Mages are portrayed in the story. It is juvenile and it looks foolish, and I just don't like them. I don't like that made-believe worlds, teacups and paper animals, and it's just not for me. I don't like them. I mostly just mash X button so I can skip the story as fast as possible. But I might be the only one, and I'm sorry if that triggers you. If you enjoy them, good for you, but I don't. What was I thinking? Yeah, the Fontaine part. Many parts I did enjoy very much. And after the land of Hydro, we went to Natlan, which was the land of Pyro. And it was a region that was cut off from the rest of Teyvat for years and years. But Natlan was visually something that I did not agree with at first, and mostly don't agree with it now. I think it doesn't suit Genshin's world. It doesn't suit Teyvat and these graffiti style and flashy colours and go with the hip hop beats, and it just why it doesn't. Natlan was supposed to be this tribal place, like Aztec inspired region. So why, just why do you bring such a weird twist, like modern hip hop slash I don't know, just trippy graffiti culture? Once again, juvenile and not well designed. It just doesn't fit the world. It doesn't fit the build that the world has. But we got through it. Natlan was not overall that good story-wise. But Natlan's exploration mechanics were a change. I do enjoy them, although I strongly disagree with the design choice that the exploration mechanics are locked behind characters. I think they should be like climbing walls faster and gliding across water and brief flying or gliding, better gliding, and flinging yourself around with that hook thing that can Chasm. I think those should have been equipment that is accessible to everyone, and I have no idea why they didn't do it like that. Were they afraid people wouldn't pull for the characters? Just make the characters more desirable, just better. Or the characters have their worth even without, or just keep them characters with special mechanics, but also add the mechanics as items or equipment that you can have, so you don't force people to pull for certain characters if they don't want them, but they need the mechanic to move. And yeah, we got through Natlan. Overall, it was fine. There were parts of it that I did enjoy, and we got to know about the Dragon Lord's history and the Pyro Archon rebirth thing, and yeah. And now in 6.0, 6.x, we're in Notcry, which is this distant land that is sort of an amalgamation of all cultures. It is a place where people from all over the world of Teyvat have come, and the culture mixes and matches, and it is divided into different guilds or groups that work together or against each other. And yeah, I really like Notcry so far, and we're getting closer to Snezhnaya, which is the cryo region. I'm excited for it, and I kinda hope that Snezhnaya would come before 7.0, but it probably won't, because I think it could. The story with the Fatui is so intertwined in Notcry story, and I think it would be natural for the story to bring Snezhnaya, the world of Snezhnaya, faster than the usual pace. But yeah, overall, I really liked my time with Genshin, and I intend to keep on going. Right now, it is the Lantern Rites, which is a yearly happening in Liyue, the Chinese New Year event, and I'm wondering if I will pull for the buy or not. I'm not sure yet. It's actually, as of filming this, I believe the banner will change in about an hour, so I probably will play some Genshin tonight before I go to bed. I probably will. I'm not sure about the editing. Will I edit this video before then or not? I don't know. Maybe. The iPad was pointless. Maybe some other time it would be cool to sketch some characters inspired by Genshin. I'm not good at just copying the characters and drawing the characters at, fan art. I'm not good at that, in my opinion. But maybe. Anyways, I hope that this was a good background noise for you, and that you got some relaxment or triggers or whatever. I have no idea what I'm going to do with the videos in the future. The usual ASMR videos, of which there are so many, where you do traditional triggers. Traditional triggers. Like I do enjoy them, but for me, I like more just listening something that has even a slight idea, something that I maybe have to focus on just a little. Just a little. Or the focusing is optional. I can just have it as a background noise, or I can actually listen to it and think that, yeah, I think so too, or no, I disagree with that. And yeah, that's why I think that for now I'm going to stick with these chatting and nonsense, some sort of talking or whispering videos, because it's what I enjoy more. And I am a rambler. Just a rambler. Anyways, I want to thank you for joining me. I hope you have a great night or a great day, whatever it is. Whatever it is for you. And I hope I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. Goodbye.